Hey, Solar fam, welcome to the Solar Podcast, official podcast of Solar Dex. And before I start, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like this video, and share it on all platforms. Spread the good news. Solar Dex is in town, and Solar is ready to hit the road too. So I'm your host, Ian, the CMO of Solar Dex. I'm joined today once again with Richard, the CEO, and a familiar face, John, the COO. If you want to introduce yourself, John, that'd be great.
Hey everyone, what's going on? It's good to be on this podcast. Unfortunately, due to schedule conflicts, I couldn't be on the last one. But anyhow, I am John. I'm the COO of Solar Dex. So just to give myself a little bit of a background for you, to sum it up simply, I have an extensive background in online business management, um, and I've been an investor in crypto for probably 2.5 years now. Um, And so, as far as the role I take on within this company, it's kind of a jack of all trades. Anywhere that I'm needed, be it marketing, communicating with the public, coordinating timelines with partners, all of the above.
Yeah, sums it up pretty well. I think, John, yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on. I know, like you said, he had some scheduling conflicts last time, so it's good to have you involved on the second episode. I'm pretty pumped to have you. And how are you doing tonight, Richard?
Doing pretty well, man.
Awesome. Great to have you on board again on this rocket ship called Solar. So to kick us off, we did our introductions. One thing that I really wanted to address and have the team kind of chime in on is I know the community has been asking about the Launchpad IDO partnership that we're forming. So just to disclose, we were talking to Aegis to have our coin launch on their platform. And so we actually cut ties with Aegis, not in a malicious intent or anything. It was a mutual business agreement. Just to sum it up, I'll let you guys chime in after this, but uh, the thing that we always want to keep into the forefront of our minds is the community. So with the community in mind, our goals for where we want this project to go didn't really line up. And so I'll let Richard take it over because he can explain it a lot better than I can probably.
Yeah, definitely. So, I guess just to give a little context, we originally planned on doing the IDO on our website. We actually had the smart contract set in place, tested it. You guys were there. We all tested it, worked great. And then out of the blue, someone was like, hey, why not partner with Aegis? And I was like, okay, what's Aegis? So I looked it up. I was like, all right, they seem like they'd be a good launchpad service. Communication went back and forth. We originally agreed on some stuff, then fast forward to, hey, what's going on? They essentially asked for information and stuff that we feel wouldn't be that beneficial to our community. And we ended up breaking off the partnership with Aegis due to this. We felt like, you know, the community is what drives the project. You want to have the community's best interest at heart. No one's going to look out more for their community than the leaders of that community. Whereas you have third parties trying to intervene, hey, do this, hey, you should try this, hey, do this. When at the end of the day, it might not be the best thing overall. So it was more of a transparency thing. Too many red flags. We just had to terminate it.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Oh,
no, I was just
um,
gonna ask you, John.
oh, well, there, beat you to it. Yeah, anyhow, yeah, like Richard had said, it wasn't malicious in any way. It just terms that we couldn't agree to. And furthermore, we on our end were quite ready to handle everything. Was for everything on our end, we had nailed down and we were ready to go, but we just couldn't nail down a timeline with them. And we didn't want to lose the momentum. We didn't want to lose the hype and have to push it off until possibly like the new year. So by cutting ties, um, as unfortunate as it may seem at first glance, I'd say this is very beneficial because this ball is getting rolling a lot sooner because of it.
And that's a good point too, because as Richard said, third-party intervention can really take something off the tracks, whether it's intended to or not. It's one of those things in the community that can happen. So having the third-party intervention, seemed like a good thing, and it probably was in a sense. But like I said, we want to keep the community in mind, and one of those things is timelines. And what John said about, hey, we don't know if they're intending to launch this in the new year or even further. We couldn't get a concrete timeline together after we already launched our own timeline and then had to backtrack. So one of the biggest things that we wanted to do was keep the community in the forefront and keep this momentum rolling, keep the ball rolling, and make sure that, hey, we have a timeline, we have something to look forward to, and we're going to do this as big as we can. So that's the biggest thing with the partnership that I want to chime into, just because everything that we do, we want to do it for the best of the community. And these things aren't taken lightly. It's a lot of, hey, we want to discuss this as a team. We want to make sure that everything is in order. And then if anything doesn't align to what we have in mind for the goals, that, hey, we're just going to press pause on this quick. And then we're going to do this ourselves because no one knows our goals better than us. Any final thoughts on that?
No, I think you pretty much were spot on with that. Couldn't agree more.
Nope, you nailed it.
Awesome. That means I'm doing my job right. But hey, now that we got that out of the way, we have some big things coming up this week. One, and probably the biggest thing, is the launch. So I want to talk about the launch a lot more. And before we get into the launch, we want to be transparent once again with the community of everything that's going on in the background. So I know Richard had some big news that he wanted to share with the community as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I actually just got off a call with an angel investor. So we actually secured enough funding for sure to get listed on L Bank. So this is a huge win for Solar and the community. We're one of the few DeFi projects actually that are able to crank through all these huge milestones before we even launch. I mean, we've been just gaining so much traction. We literally got an email this morning saying, hey, your bandwidth on your website is almost done. So I had to upgrade that to the max tonight, actually. So we should be good to go. But so thank you to our angel investor. We can now for sure fully get on the centralized exchange, and I'm super hyped for it.
Yeah, John, talk us a little bit of why this is a big deal too.
Oh, I mean, for a fact, because I would say that, okay, so I don't know the exact numbers, but I do know that, like, just the general feel that I get from talking to people and me before I got into investing and before I got into crypto, centralized exchanges, for whatever reason, to a lot of people, they just seem more trustworthy. Now, I know we're trying to actively change that. We're trying to make DeFi safer for everyone, but it's just more exposure. It's just one more place where we can be found. So just by being more diversified, by having more exposure and everything like that, it's just the biggest win for everyone in it this early. It's a huge help.
Yeah, definitely. And as a team, we really talked and discussed and vetted this to see what the biggest benefit of having this come on our plate is. And honestly, there's no downside. The biggest thing is centralized exchanges are, one, really hard to get onto, and two, can cost a kind of a lot of change too. So getting on centralized exchange and using this as funds to actually get listed on these exchanges is going to be huge for, one, Solar Dex, and two, for the community. Just because once we actually have our public sale and launch this token, the more exchanges that we're on is really going to blow this token up. And so we have high hopes for this. We want to ride that momentum, and getting it onto centralized exchanges, it's going to be a huge way to do that. It's going to be a huge W for everyone too. And so talking more about the funds we've raised, we've had a very successful private sale. And so right now, what do you guys have in mind for using these funds too?
So what are you saying? Sorry.
The funds. What we've raised is, I don't want to say it's unprecedented, but it's been a huge accomplishment for, I always say the community, but one, for us, and two, for the community, just because the more funds we have and the more backing of this token, the bigger the win is going to be for everyone. So I just wanted to see what was on the horizon, what we're going to be allocating stuff towards, and really give it the community that involvement that we promised to make sure that everyone's in the know as well.
Definitely. So I mean, as we said, most of the funds we've raised right now is strictly for liquidity, which has been awesome. We're going to give that 0.011 price at launch. As far as the angel investor funds, that covers most of the centralized exchange listings. And then as for public, we're going to add a little more to liquidity. And then on top of that, we're going to use some funds for marketing. We're going to get some Cointelegraph articles. We're looking to get Forbes articles out there. It's just going to be huge. I'm like extremely excited for this.
And I think the biggest thing too, the reinvestment into this token. That's our end goal and what we really are trying to do with these funds too. Like I said, the bigger the W for everyone, the better. So reinvesting is going to be a huge part of Solar Dex and what we're doing to actually blow this thing to the proportion that we need to know. Like I know in the chat, we always say, hey, we're trying to get this thing to the moon. When in reality, like I said in the first podcast, which seamless transition, if you haven't listened to the first podcast, check that out. We have a lot of good information on there. I know there's a lot of questions out in the Telegram right now that are answered through that podcast. So take a listen to that too, to have those questions answered. But yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. But the good thing is, reinvestment is the biggest key to what we're trying to do as well. Whether it's the marketing side, the development side, just anything and everything from A to Z is going to be ramped up for a huge launch and then for sustainability as well. Anything to add to that, John?
No, keep it simple, stupid. I mean, you guys pretty much covered everything there was to cover. It's yeah, you're spot on.
Awesome. Well, talking about centralized exchanges, I think we got some good things heading up in the pipeline for centralized exchanges. John, you've been working pretty closely with one in particular, and I know Richard's been working closely with them as well as a team. Take us through that a little bit.
Yeah, so the one centralized exchange that we right now are working very closely with is LBank, and LBank would give us extreme exposure. It would just be amazing to get on this early, this soon, and we haven't even officially launched yet. It just goes to show that the momentum that we have, all the hype around us, it's amazing. I mean, what more information are you looking for, I suppose?
I don't know, Richard, do you got any ideas?
No, I think John nailed it.
That's what I was thinking too. I didn't want to miss anything. So yeah, LBank is a huge centralized exchange, and the exposure that we would have as a community getting onto the exchange would be just tremendous. So throwing it back, the moon is not the goal. It's way past moon, somewhere in the stratosphere of the universe. I know there's probably a multiverse out there. We might need to visit one of them with solar getting the launch. So having LBank reach out to us and partnering with us, and we're trying to finalize everything too. That's on the horizon. So keep a lookout for that. That's going to be huge for solar and Solar Dex all together. So now that we've covered that, hey, the Aegis, what happens to that? We've got an angel investor. We have funds allocated as well as centralized exchanges on the horizon. I think it's time to really dig deep into the timeline for this week, because we have one, our pre-sale, and two, our full launch. I know everybody's been waiting for the launch, so this is a big key topic that I wanted to cover up tonight. So I'll take a back seat to this and let Richard really, I know he's been doing the work and really responding to messages as much as we can. So I want him to give the good news.
Yeah, definitely. So as far as this week goes, private sale, that officially closes Wednesday afternoon. And then Thursday, most likely morning, we'll let everyone know Wednesday. Public pre-sale will be on our website. There'll be a simple swap. It'll be minimum 1 Solana, maximum 15. And then come Fridays, the day we've all been waiting for, we will fully launch on Radium this Friday. Time to be determined, but we will definitely let the community know.
Hey, John, did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard something like that.
Yeah, I think that was a mic drop, baby.
I think it was.
Oh,
I hope
And
you can hear the mic drop.
I heard it loud and clear. I'm so pumped and like I know we're going fast right now. So a big thing that we want to do this week is we really want to keep our listeners and community involved and give updates weekly. So we're gonna keep this short and simple this week and really just focus on, hey, this is the progress we've made. This is what's happening in the background, and here's the launch date. So having these launch dates, the pre-sale on Thursday, December 9th, and then the full-on launch and tradable on Radium on the 10th on Friday. I couldn't be more excited. How excited are you guys?
I'm
Pumped.
pretty pumped.
That was a lot of enthusiasm. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, you're an upbeat guy.
Well, I mean, kudos to this team. We've all been running off of no sleep. We've all been multitasking, and it's just huge. Like we're excited and drained, but we're having nothing but good problems come our way.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming, and the team is so excited. The team's been putting in a lot of work for this too. I know our Telegram's blowing up. We're getting questions on Twitter. Everything we've had a lot of subscribers on YouTube, and now we're getting reached out on YouTube as well. So this is, like I said, been a long time coming. I'm so excited, mostly for the sleep that I'm gonna have after this week, but a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of questions being answered in our Telegram has been covered. So um, tune in. It's going to be huge. Right, John?
Yep.
Awesome. Well,
And yeah, actually, just like you had said, the sleep, I just want the community to know as soon as this launch happens on Friday, I'm probably going to sleep a solid 48 hours until Monday. Just a heads up.
sounds like a good nap. No, this is like, I know this is the calm before the storm right now. So I just want to make sure that everyone's updated. Any final thoughts, any parting words, anything that we need to know about?
Just the next time we'll be hosting this, we will be fully launched. So let's get it.
Let's get it. You heard it from Richard, the man himself. Any parting thoughts, John?
I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it big time.
Gonna get it big time. That's a one up, and I think we're gonna get it all the time. So I'll one up that too. But no, this is so exciting. I'll keep it short and simple this week, like I said. But hey, I appreciate the community involvement. I appreciate the questions. A lot of other projects. If you look at the Telegram, I don't think anyone's been more active than Richard has in our Telegram, and John and I are trying to keep up as well. Between the 20-minute power naps, just to make sure that we're involved and getting everything set to go for Friday and Thursday, has just been very exciting, very time consuming, and it's just been a whirlwind of emotions. So it's been a pleasure talking with Richard and John this week. Once again, this is Solar. If you haven't checked us out on YouTube, feel free to like, subscribe, and share this on any platform possible. I mean, I'm talking about Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Once again, if you have a MySpace, I feel sorry for you, but share it on there too. It's going to be a crazy week this week, and I can't be more excited about it. So, once again, like, subscribe, share, check out our first episode. We'll keep you guys updated throughout the week. Any questions at all, hit us up into the Telegram. I'll include some links to some articles as well as our website. Join it all. Keep up to date. Look out for Wednesday for updates, as well as Thursday as our pre-sale goes live and our launch is full in effect on Friday. I'm your host, Ian, CMO of Solar Dex, and this is Solar. I'll talk to you guys later.